Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my October wrap up, which is there's so much, you guys, there's so much. Also, my eyes look red and puffy. We're just like not going to talk about it, okay? While I was setting up to film, I finished listening to an audiobook and I've been like sobbing and I like trying to like make my eyes look like I haven't been crying. It wasn't even a sad book, it was Kings of the Wild. Like literally a happy, sweet, wholesome ending, and I just sobbed. So anyway, but welcome to my coffee chat. If you're new here or if you've never watched a coffee chat before, this is just basically where I catch up with you guys, tell you about my month, all of my reading, all my writing, all of the fun authory stuff, and then some like favorites for the month too. And then you guys do the same thing down in the comments. You sound off, you let me know all of your favorites for the month, how your writing's going, any good books that you can recommend to me, and we just hang out, we chat. These are one of my favorite videos to do because they're just so chill and it's a great way for me to be able to connect with you guys. So like, you know, leave me a comment, I want to talk to you. But because I have so much to talk about this month, let's just get right into it. Okay, so writing. Let's talk about some events first. So I had a Barnes & Noble signing, which was really fun. God save Dave Pilkey and the whole Dogman series because first of all, Pilkey, Puckett were shelved right next to each other, so that's really great. The kids love Dogman and there was like a new release coming out. So my local Barnes & Noble was like, hey, we're doing an event for the Dogman release and we know you have a Halloween book. Do you want to come like sign? Because like there'll be a lot of kids there buying the Dogman book. And so I was like, great, I'll just like vulture the children. They actually had me a little table set up like on the way back to the Dogman stuff, so the kids couldn't get to it without getting to me first, you know what I mean? Anyway, it was super fun. I sold quite a few books, got to meet a lot of readers, and like made some friends with some booksellers, which is really, really awesome. I love just like picking their brain about like what they're selling a lot of right now and just like what they enjoy reading and all that stuff. So it was a really good event. Next, I got to take a little weekend trip up to Columbus, and there was a school up there that picked The Glass Witch as their school book club pick for the month, and they asked if I wanted to come and like speak with the kids, and I was so excited and I had such a good time. I don't know who had more of a good time, me, the kids, or my husband in the background just like taking pictures and being like this really cute like proud dad moment. He was just like, ooh. But it was on Halloween day, so all of the kids were dressed up. It was so cute. I came in with my little like witch hat, but it was wonderful. I was just so inspired and I hope I get to do this again next year. That would be amazing. I love talking with the kids. I think that's like my favorite part of all of this, probably getting to connect with kids. Like it's wild that people in general read something that came out of my brain. That's so weird, right? Like if you're a writer and you have someone read your work before, like it's weird, exciting, weird, you know? But then when it's a child, like you wrote it for a child and children like actually exist and they actually pick up your book and that situation exists in the space-time continuum, it is like out of body experience level stuff. I don't even have words. So cool. By the way, if you are a teacher, librarian, or like educator in any way, I do school visits. On my website, there's a contact page and I have a little form that you can fill out if you would like to have me speak to your kids. I do in-person and virtual. I do discounts for Title I schools. I'm really flexible, like hire me. And then as for my writing projects this month, so the main one was Bitter Bones. This is my book that is coming out as my middle grade horror. It's coming out sometime next year. I don't have a date yet for it, but I'm assuming fall, winter, something like that. I had sent it out to all of my betas, my critique partner, and my editor. And I got everyone's feedback back this month, which was really, really nice. I was able to look it over, which was exciting and scary. I found out that the book doesn't actually suck as much as it did in my mind. It was really nice actually getting some like really sweet like hype up comments, which was great. I feel like I needed that because I've been kind of self-conscious about this book, so it felt good to be like, oh, okay, this isn't like a total dumpster fire, right? And I might make like a revision video talking about like what all I've decided to fix. It's been really great getting everyone's feedback and looking it over at once because I can spot patterns. Like some people bring up the same thing or they diagnose the problem in different ways, but it's one central problem. It's so interesting. But the main thing that I really need to address for Bitter Bones is just like getting that word count down. It's too big, it's too chonky. And the middle of the second act, I have some pacing issues. Like there's 10 chapters right in the middle that about 70% of my readers like were like, hey, something's off here. And then just like some simple clarification stuff, like, you know, making someone's character arc stronger or explaining something that doesn't quite make sense. Anyways, it's super exciting that it's not like a massive restructure, and I'm excited to like kind of get in there this month and just like really make it shine, because like now I feel like it is a good book, but with everyone's feedback, I can make it a better book, like a really, really good book. So yeah, I'm pumped. And next we have A Grandmother's Guide to High Stakes Adventuring, which is my grandma garden gnome cozy fantasy D&D riff satire. I don't even know what it is. I started expanding the outline this month a little bit. I was gonna say I started draft 1, but it doesn't really feel like a draft 1. It just feels like I'm taking my outline and like bulking it up, you know what I mean? I start with an idea for a chapter, and it's usually a couple sentences, and I'll put in like, this is the character arc beat that needs to happen here. This is the thing I am foreshadowing here. And that's like the start of my outline, right? That's my simple idea of what is happening. And then I bulk it up. I'm like, okay, what is I need to write in like, what is the main character's goal in this scene? And how does that go into their character arc? And then I expand that, and then I expand like the plotty stuff. Like, we're walking here, we're going in this store, we're talking to this person. And then that's the next expansion. And then the next expansion is like the actual dialogue of the talking, and then the actual description and like all that stuff. And I'm like, at what point does this expansion become a draft? I don't know. Usually I have a very clear defined, like, I'm starting draft 1 today, but as this is like a funsy project, I don't feel like it is following the same laws as like my work serious projects. Yeah, who knows? But I've got the first 2 chapters expanded and I feel good about them. I'm having fun. Of course, I got into it and it is first drafty. So I'm like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, I'm just realizing that so much of this book is going to be dependent on the voice and the humor because it is a satire. And right now I am focused on plot, like making sure the flow of the chapter is good, and like I'm getting all of my beats in from the outline. So it's just so boring right now. I'm like, oh my god, this is bad. But it's not bad, it's a first draft, this is a satire. So obviously the voice is what's gonna carry this book. I don't have the voice, and I'm not going to have the voice until I have felt like I have perfected my plot and my character arc and character development, like all that stuff. I do all that stuff first. In my third draft, I do prose, voicey stuff. So this book is going to feel bad for a long time. I'm trying to focus on like what I know the book can be, not what it is right now. I've done this a million times. I've done this so many times. Like, I've written 5 books now. I should know this by now, but I forget every time. Okay, that was all my writing stuff. You guys want to talk about some reading? Because I read 2 amazing books and I want to share them with you. The 2 books, I read a lot of good books, don't get me wrong, but these are the 2 that really just like shined and were everything for me. The first one I want to talk about is A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallis Kinney. This is about a solitary witch who is like getting ready to host this big coven party for Samhain. Then this other witch from another coven shows up at her doorstep, and like they need to like help each other, but he does the magic that you're not supposed to do, which is necromancy. So obviously there's like tension, there's secrets, there's things like that, but also there's like pumpkin carving and decorating, and like I think there's like crocheting and knitting and like a lot of baking. In fact, there's like recipes in the back of the book. Listen, you guys. This was so good. I read this like the week before Halloween and I was like, wow. I honestly, like, the reason like I feel like I got into such a good Halloween spirit this year was because I was reading this, along with like it was helping the atmosphere. Like every single part of my life I tried to do autumnal things, like eat autumnal food, listen to spooky music, read Halloweeny books. Wallis is a fellow Authortuber, which is super cool that more and more Authortubers are getting traditionally published. I think that's so awesome. But actually, like, I reached out to her and I was like, I feel like The Glass Witch is like the little sister to this book. Like, they are just so Halloweeny and so like covens and witchy based. It's just like, I just feel like they're cousins or siblings or something. It's so cute. So if you like this and you want like a more adult version of this, like, give this a shot. And the next book that I loved is Starling House by Alexi Harrow. This is an adult fantasy with like contemporary gothic vibes. I really enjoy this because it takes 2 buzzwords for me that I really like. It's like Appalachian horror mixed with that trope where it's like, you know, the old reclusive writer who wrote like creepy children's books like disappears, and like what's going on with that. So I really like those 2 things. It's mashed together, and it also has this it's, I guess it's a character trope, but like it's just a nasty main character. She like is mean and rude, and she like steals, and I think there's a scene where she like spits on someone. Yeah, anyway, I love women like that. It deals with a lot about like coal mining culture and the people forgotten in Appalachia. I think it was really clever how she wove in the actual real history of that area into like this fantasy curse situation. Also, I was trying to get my friend to read this, and I pitched it as like two uggos falling in love, because the main character and the love interest, like, they're constantly describing each other as ugly. Like, oh, he's like an ugly, nasty looking bird. Two ugly people falling in love. Like, they deserve love too, you know what I mean? Anyway, this really worked for me. I don't want to recommend it to everybody because I think it is a very niche thing, and I super enjoyed it, and I need to pick up more of Alex E. Harrow's stuff. Now I want to switch over and talk about some life updates and some favorites and some things that I got up to in the month of October. Like I mentioned, I did so many things this month that were so fun. So first thing I did was I went to the Renaissance Festival. I dressed like a hobbit and I had so much fun. I love how the pictures turned out. It turned out so good. We ate a lot of food. We watched a lot of shows. I saw like owls and falcons. You could like pay to hold them. That was the coolest thing ever. It was great. I haven't been able to go the past 2 years because October has been so busy for me, as I've had 2 books coming out back to back the past 2 years. So I just haven't had a weekend free to go to the Renaissance Festival. So I finally got to go this year. So happy. And then there was the Columbus trip that I was talking about when I went to go visit the classroom. So of course, me and my husband just did a bunch of stuff around the city. We ended up going to a science museum, and like, of course, the only pictures that I took were of my stuffed turtle, not of me there. Oh my God, we found this piano. It makes like fart and burp sounds when you play a song. And now we have Brian, aka Beethoven, playing a medley. That might have been my favorite part of the museum, I'm not gonna lie. We also went to this, it's like an art museum mixed with an escape room. It's called Otherworld. It's also interactive storytelling. You get a storyline that goes through it. It's like interdimensional travel, like scientists messing with things that they shouldn't have, and you can go through and like snoop through their files and look on their computers and like try to piece together more of the story as you're looking at this like really cool art of like all of these dimensions that you're visiting. It was so awesome. I had such a good time. Then of course there was Halloween, which is one of my favorite seasons, you know, of the year. It's not a day in my life, it's all of October. So we just did a lot. I did a lot of fun baking. I made some cookies that I feel like Fatima from The Glass Witch would like highly approve of. If you know, you know. I painted my pumpkin to look like Chauncey this year. And me and my husband went to a Halloween party. We went as Miss Frizzle and Liz. Yeah, it was a great time. Great time. And then I want to talk about my 2 favorites for the month. I just like have this problem where I find these new hobbies that are like really expensive constantly, or no more things to collect. I guess the first thing I'll talk about is that I got my first jelly cat. This is Samuel Shell Jackson, and he is the light of my life. I'm gonna expose myself for a minute. I actually started an Instagram for him, so you can go follow him in his adventures. He's just so cute. Like, are you telling me like this man does not deserve an Instagram? Like, are you kidding me? Jelly cats, they're just like ridiculously expensive stuffed animals, but they're so soft. Like, they're just like luxury, like luxurious. You know, I got 2 of the bunnies because I couldn't be tamed. So I got this little like mossy rabbit. I love her so much. Her name's Cypress. And then I got this secondhand little baby bunny, and someone had customized her to look like she was covered in sunflowers. Like, is there a more Lindsay coded thing? A bunny and sunflowers? And her name's Winnie. And then I got this little pillow daffodil, and I love her too. She looks really cute, like right back here. Look at her. And then you guys, like, I'm still obsessed with coloring. Like, this has been so fun. I've gotten like, I don't know, I feel like I've made new friends coloring. Like, I've got people that are like, oh, I want to color too. We've been like buddy coloring. And yeah, I don't know, it's just, it's so relaxing, it's so fun. The coloring books are cheap, the markers are kind of expensive, but like very worth it because they're super buttery. I don't know, and all I do is like, I just want to improve. Like, I feel like the Capricorn in me is just like, you have to be the best at every hobby that you start. So I'm just like constantly studying like how to shade and how to highlight and like how to improve every single time. It's been so fun. It's like a fun way to be creative that doesn't have to be monetized, or it doesn't have to be critiqued by other people. It can just be something fun that I do on the side, you know? If you want to color with me, I will link the coloring book that I have and the markers that I use down below. I highly recommend it. Anyway, friends, that was my month. That was October. It was very jam-packed and incredibly satisfying. Make sure you tell me about your month down below. I want to hear about your favorite books. I want some recommendations. How's your writing going? Are you into any cozy hobbies? Gotta get more of those cozy hobbies. Give me some more ideas of things I can spend my money on, you know? Order links to the odds and the Glossbitch are always down below if you want to support, if you want to read, if you want to have joy in your life. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That'd be super dope. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.